Ooh, Ghost Theory have commented. If neither of you like us, you can stop making videos on us for your own gain. We are more than capable of debunking our own videos. That was a bit harsh. Boys and ghouls, welcome back to the channel. I'm not going to tell anyone how to suck eggs because just about everyone will be aware of what's gone on in the comment section. I made a video and I basically debunked audio pareidolia and visual pareidolia. It was a viewer request. They picked the channel, not me. Now, I didn't use Ghost Theory in the thumbnail, and I never used them in the title because I wasn't debunking Ghost Theory. I never wanted anyone to think I was debunking Ghost Theory. If I had done that and put them in the thumbnail and put I've debunked Ghost Theory, it would have been clickbait to the wrong degree, and it would have brought people flooding in, I assume. But that's not what I'm about. On occasion, are some of my thumbnails a little bit on the clickbait side? Probably. They have to be. I have to beat the YouTube algorithm, or I have to at least understand the algorithm. I've had advice off some massive channels, channels bigger than me, channels who I've had disagreements with, and they've been very kind and whatever, even though I've debunked them, or even though I've had a difference of opinions with them. What's truly, truly blown my mind with all of this is, I didn't say or do anything. Not a thing. So, to make you guys aware of the full story from the off, this channel started gaining momentum November, December time. I had a few interactions with the Ouija brothers. I spoke to the Ouija brothers and asked could I react to the videos, and they were like, have at it. Do what you want. Feel free. Awesome. What I didn't realise was that other channels thought were going to think, hey, you know what? Having a debunker look at our stuff could paint us in a positive light. There's no harm in it. Most channels fear me going near their videos. And then I wake up one morning and there's a comment from Ghost Theory. It's on their profile. This guy's trying to get to 1,000 subscribers. How about we share the love? Holy shit. I had no idea. No idea that Ghost Theory knew who the hell I was. And I'd been watching this stuff and I'd been enjoying this stuff. I laughed along with them and, you know, good quality content as far as I was concerned. And the fact that they came to help me out without me approaching them meant the world to me. So I thought, you know what, I'd like to do a video on them as well, while I'm on this sort of little path of trying to destroy fakers but highlight the good guys. So I approached Joe and said, listen, I want to do a reaction video to you guys. Do you have anything that you would prefer me to react to? Either something that's got great paranormal in there, or anything funny, or whatever, your choice. So he sent me 3 videos, and he was like, one of them is really embarrassing. And I picked that one. And you've all seen it. It's the only one I've ever reacted to. And it was the video where where he's got his phone in his pocket, and it plays the sleep time alarm, and they think a music box has gone off, and the pair of them, quite rightly, crap their pants. I put the video out. The video did quite well. I liked it. They liked it. They even commented in there when I made other comments for other parts of the video. We never thought of it like that. Fair play. I thought all was good. And then, really, there was no interactions after that between me and Ghost Theory. You know, I'm not saying that they were ignoring me, and I wasn't ignoring them. I kept shouting them out as channels to check out, a real channel, etc. And then they did 2 investigations, and two of these investigations involved security. Now, I worked in the security industry for 22 years. My wife has worked in there for nearly a decade. And I wasn't your average security guard. I was a senior supervisor on a massive contract. As in, all of the supervisors across all the other sites reported to me. I was the on-site security manager. I dealt with everything from the officers up to the European security manager for the company. I was trained on all manner of things, and I was there for a number of years, and it was a full-blown career. I cut my hair off, I started shaving my beard, and tried to be the suit, but it wasn't really for me, despite how much effort and work I put in there. And eventually I left, went into an even more aggressive industry. All of this time, I was still doing door work, I was still doing events work, etc. So I've got more experience than most people my age in the security industry. Last year I made a decision, I'm done. I'm done with the security industry. There's no job security there anymore, and to be honest, I was sick of getting punched in the face for a living. So I watched one video, and basically they live streaming and they're sneaking past security guards who are having a bit of a nap. Now Elliot and Joe are making some jokes about them, and I'm like, you know what? They make a point. If those guards were awake, Joe and Elliot wouldn't have got in there. But they made those guards look a little bit silly, and maybe they should have blanked out their faces or something, just for a sense of privacy, because those guys had no idea they were on camera. But it's not my channel. They don't have to work the way I do. And then there was a recent one where they were in a hospital, and security bust them. And one of the security officers was a dog handler. And Joe, for the most part, just was like, here I am, yeah, I'm leaving, could you tell me, my friend's in there, let me call him. He has a bit of back and forth with them, but nothing too much. He walks out of his own accord and waits for Elliot. Elliot comes down, and as soon as the security officer says, I've got a dog, the dog will bite. Elliot's already, he's quite cocky, quite cocksure. Now, what people need to take into account is, for that site to be paying the hourly rate of a dog handler means there's been problems there. A dog handler is roughly £7 or £8 an hour more for the company to pay to have on site. Because of the training involved, because of the insurance involved, the risk to the animal, the risk to the handler, and the risk to the whoever has broken in, etc. Now, a lot of people make a misconception and will assume that security's prime reason for being on a site is to stop trespassers, breaking and entering, etc. crime. That's not what they're there for primarily. Primarily, they're there for insurance. Because if somebody breaks the leg, they can sue the company. However, if the company then says, but we've got CCTV, we've got security, we've got, alarms, etc., then when it goes to court, that company are not liable. After that is all the crime and stuff, but above crime and preventing crime is visual deterrent. Visually, most people are going to look, go, shit, security, turn around and leave. Not sneak in. Now, I'm not saying they snuck in past security on this one. I don't know. But what you have to understand, but when somebody pays the extra money for K9 units on a site, it's because that site has been, they will call it under attack. They've had people in there filming, they've had people in there trying to strip copper, breaking windows, setting fires, doing drugs, getting drunk underage, what have you. And it becomes a problem and a regular occurrence, so the company that owns the building say, right, bring in a dog handler, a K9 unit, because that is a better deterrent. And if somebody's been assaulted on the site as well, having a K9 unit will deter assaults. It's extra money these guys don't want to pay. Anyway, the woman goes in and aggressively shouts, whatever, there's a dog, the dog is trained to bite. That's not a threat. That's not a threat. That's not a threat of intent. That is this dog is trained to do a job, do as I say, as in, don't run at me, because the dog will protect me. That's the dog's sole purpose. And then Elliot has a bit of a cocky attitude about him. Well, I'm not going until you show me this. And he's laughing and he's getting her back up. Now, I will say this. She was overly aggressive. The second guy, not so much. What you have to take into account is how many times have they gone into this building and been threatened or had stuff thrown at them? How many times in their career have they had stuff thrown at them? Have they been verbally or physically abused? Because I've been in that situation. They don't know what they are walking into. There could be a gang of people stripping copper. What those security officers should have done is gone, there are people in there, we can see the torches, whatever, phone the police. Let the police deal with it. We'll go and ask them to leave. But the police will already be on the way. Now, if Elliot had said, I'm here, Right, I'm leaving, and just walked out. And maybe he could have even had a dig as he was walking out. It would have saved the wasting of the police time. Now, in Elliot's defence, he questioned the SIA licence. Where is your SIA licence? Shouldn't you have that on display? Absolutely, they should. But there is a grey area. If you work in an industrial setting, or a setting where the general public are not present, as in like an abandoned building, you can have your licence on you to be able to produce. The reason you don't have to wear it is it can get caught, snagged, or lost on an abandoned property. Now, in industrial units or in large busy industrial places like where I worked, the officers were told not to have their licenses hanging off them on a lanyard around their neck, and they were told not to have them on their high-vis vests. They were told to keep them in their pockets, and if the SIA turn up on site, then you produce them, or the police then produce them. The only people that can ask you to produce your SIA license are the police and the SIA authority. Nobody else has the right to ask for it. It should be on display, but there is a grey area that the SIA is aware of. And as long as you can produce it to the SIA, you've broke no rules and no laws. Now, Elliot is saying different. Elliot has apparently worked in the SIA industry for a time. 22 years I did it. 22 years, and 7 years of that was spent on a site where my officers did not have to wear their licenses. A lot of us wore them on our arms anyway, but we did not have to wear them on site because it was closed, it was fenced, it was not for the general public. But you had to have your license. You'd sign in the morning, it'd ask you for your SIA number, and you'd write it in a book. If an officer came to work and had forgotten their license, they were sent home. Were these guys actually licensed? We'll never know. Now, Ghost Theory have put up a post saying that these two officers have been fired from their jobs. First of all, I don't understand how Ghost Theory would be aware of that, because even if they made a complaint, the response would be, we are dealing with this internally. Please leave this with us, etc. Something along those lines. In 22 years, I have never, ever heard of a security guard or a dog handler losing their license for not displaying it on a patrol. Ever. I have seen them asked by authorities and the police to say, do you have your SIA? And they'll pull it out on a lanyard from inside the jacket or out of their pocket, out of a wallet or a display card. I've seen that. Nobody that I know in 22 years has ever had that issue. I have seen door supervisors lose their licenses for not displaying, because that's different. You're in the public sector, you're working with the public directly, you're controlling access control to a licensed venue. That is very different. They wear them on their arms. Now, a door supervisor on a door doesn't have to display it with their picture and their name facing outwards. They can have it backwards. Most of them don't, because they're fearless, but you can wear it backwards as long as it's on display. You are under no obligation to give your full name or your SIA number to the general public at all, especially when the general public are in the act of trespassing. Not a criminal offence, it's a civil matter. Now, if those people, for some bizarre reason that I am completely unaware of, have lost their jobs, Ghost Theory bragging about it is not a good look. Those two officers may have children, may have a mortgage, may have bills and all the rest of it. And because you guys trespassed and decided that your video for YouTube was more important than their livelihood, they've lost their jobs. That is utterly wrong. Now, I've been told the comment's been deleted, I've been told the comment's still there, I haven't looked. I can't show any footage because they've basically said, stop using our videos to grow. Absolutely fine. You request? I'll do it. I'm not a dick. I woke up 2 o'clock in the morning, go to the toilet, and I'm like, what the fuck is this? What did I do to deserve that? Somebody, a viewer, commented, hi Beardo, I used to love Ghost Theory, but the more the channel puts out, the more I seem to get apparent paranormal. Joey and Elliot wanted to do short films. I don't watch them anymore. I know certain paranormal teams can get more than others, but there's just something about them they have changed. That is an opinion, and they are entitled to their opinion. Sorry, I'm literally sat here recording this. Like, I don't want a war. They said goodbye earlier today. They're out of the channel. They don't give a shit. But they've just commented 6 minutes ago. This is like 3 hours after they said goodbye. Oh, they blocked Mrs. Geek because she didn't stop talking. 2 comments. Right, basically, the ghost theory fans are coming in now and having a go. Whatever, you're entitled. Do what you want. We can have a difference of opinion without name-calling and mudslinging. Now, name-calling and mudslinging is why I'm recording this. My wife went into the ghost theory. We watched that video with the security dogs, and the pair of sat there like, no, I wouldn't have done that. So my wife replies, I'm in security. I'd be mortified if you were filming me at my place of work that you're not supposed to be at. All of this was a bit wrong, but look at it from her point of view. You've put a face for the whole of YouTube to see. And if she's like me, I'd feel intimidated with a camera in my face to go to the whole world to see in private property. SA license-wise, they are carrying them, but you're filming personal details. I can see why they refuse to show you that on film. They're under no obligation to, and they would have known that. It's not a PowerPoint. They have family, and there's a camera in their face. If that was me, as I've done previously, I'd rather wait for the police also. Look at security as humans with a family and doing a job. I think that's a fair comment. Now, I stayed out of this. Right, so this is Elliot's response. I, Elliot, worked security for 5 years and also trained SA officer. They also filmed us too while ridiculing us. I didn't see any ridiculing going on there. They were not intimidated. They also used a threatening weapon against us and broke the law in their jobs. They broke no law. And they didn't threaten you. They alerted you to the presence of a trained dog. That's not a weapon. You should be mortified about their conduct, which goes against everything they're trained for license-wise. Intimidated by a camera, wrong job role then. A camera is nothing to a vicious dog. It wasn't a vicious dog. You were and doing all that. You were aggravating them. Now, the intimidation is not from the camera itself. The intimidation is from the intent afterwards. Having your full name and your license on display up on the internet for all to see. That is why officers don't show their SA license to anyone that just wanders into a property they're not supposed to be in. I wouldn't show it. By law, we're allowed in there until said otherwise. They said otherwise. You're not supposed to be in here, mate. You've got to go. You got cocky. They were disgusting and do not deserve to be treated like a human due to the response, which, by the way, wasn't human. I beg to differ. Fight or flight makes people do and say things that they wouldn't normally do. I don't care how scared you are going into that building when you're not supposed to be there. Security, knowing there's somebody in there, are more scared than you are. It's a fact. Because they could go in there and have a bar across the head, be stabbed, have bottles of piss thrown at them, whatever. And I'm not just making this crap up. I have had these things happen to me. I have been hit in the head with objects. I have had stuff thrown at me. I have had blades pulled on me. All by doing my job. So the next time you go into a building, you're a little bit more on edge and you're a little bit more forceful with how you talk to people. At the same point, I have walked into buildings, found people in there shouldn't be like, right, come on, you're having a laugh. Come on, boys, I don't want to phone the police. Can you just walk away? Save me the paperwork. You try to get on a level with them. Sometimes it works, sometimes they go for you. I've had people go for me, and if it hadn't have been for a dog handler one night, I probably would have got hit in the face again. On another point, the police and SA authorities expressed their concern and are conducting an investigation. To be honest, we don't care what anyone says about this situation. We were in the right, and I can't see the rest of that. We don't care what anyone says about the situation. We were in the right, and they embarrassed themselves. They didn't look the most professional. I'll give them that. Or I'll not give them that. But you are trying to gall them into an argument like you've been doing with me all day is less professional. You are conducting yourselves in quite a poor manner on the internet. And this is coming from a guy that rants and raves at fakers. Mrs. Geek replies with, both sides are totally wrong here, as I said. The whole thing was awkward and both sides were in the wrong to me. Just my opinion. Smiley face. Ghost Theory, I think you missed the part where we broke absolutely zero laws where they broke 3 very big ones. If you think of this situation that hundreds of people have seen and expressed the same opinion on their disgraceful conduct, that we are just as bad as them, then your perspective is lost. They shouldn't have broke the law. By the way, they lost their jobs due to disorderly conduct. That was 6 hours ago. Are you proud of that? Now, if those guys worked for me, they may have, at the very worst, been suspended pending an investigation. and having viewed the footage of their camera and seen the way they were being spoken to, they would not have lost their jobs. I fail to believe that. So then, yesterday I do a debunking video. Didn't feature Ghost Theory in the title or the thumbnail, and then I get comments last night. I'm not going to reread them because you've all read them. And I read them at 2 o'clock this morning while going to the toilet, and I'm like, just as my thumbs were about to start, I went, no, I'm going to bed. Tempers are fraying. I'm having no part in that. Unfortunately, Ghost Theory are still rabbiting on now, trying to... They said goodbye earlier. Case closed, job done, but they're still going. All I will say in my defense was, up until today, hours after they posted all of this, I said nothing. Nothing against them. I did say I didn't debunk Ghost Theory. I debunked pareidolia. I debunked audio pareidolia, visual pareidolia. And then they pretty much Will Smith me. Keep my channel's name out your fucking mouth. Wow. Bit of an exaggeration. There was no need for it. Now, what has been completely left out of this was Joe, Elliot, and myself had a few conversations. Not so much with Elliot, but me and Joe had quite a few conversations on Facebook. We were friends on Facebook. I was friends with Elliot on Facebook. Both of them, at any point in the last 2 weeks, could have messaged me about this privately. They both could have asked my opinion, and I could have said, do you know what? You were wrong. They were wrong. I don't understand why you're having such a meltdown over comments. When you're dealing with the paranormal, you will gain positive and you will gain negative comments. Case in fact, I get a lot of negative comments. For the most part, I react thusly. Thanks for your input. Have a nice day. Now and again, one will start to get under my skin, and I'll be like, alright, I'm nipping this in the bud, and it'll be, if you're getting aggressive, get out, and I'll block them. I've blocked 3 people, that's all. 3. For threatening. Not just me, the community, or other channels. I don't put up with it, I don't deal it. I've told many a people, don't let the door hit you on the ass on the way out when they're like, oh, if you're going to be like that, I'm leaving. Well, fine. Don't be rude. What are the comments they said? We're not annoyed about debunking anything. That part has been taken out of context. You came in and said, don't use our videos. And I'm not using your videos. But what Ghost Theory didn't know was, I've been peeling away from them for a number of weeks. I was watching the content, and I'm like, why is every house they go in got voices? Everywhere they go in, there's somebody here, there's somebody here, there's somebody here. Why are they getting more potential evidence and then saying, but it's not paranormal, than any other channel? Add to that, they have been doing this less time than most of the channels that I watch. And something starts to not sit right with me. And I ummed and ahed and was like, oh, I don't know if I should do this video. I don't know if I should release this video. This is from a video that I started making last week. I can't play the video because they've asked me not to play the content. And I'm going to be respectful of that. It's the only respect I've got left. This door falls over. You know? How? Why? How can I debunk that? They say, oh, we don't think that's paranormal. A door fell over on its own. It's potentially been stood there for months. That would scream paranormal, but why would you then say that's not paranormal? Anyway, that's not what this is about. What this is about is, there's an hour and 9 minutes video there, unedited, 1 hour and 9 minutes of footage, because things weren't adding up to me. And when I shout a channel out, and when I go out of my way to say, these guys are legit, and then afterwards I start seeing things that don't make sense, I'm starting to worry about my reputation. While I was making that video Sunday, I see a live stream on. I'm like, I'll pop in and have a look at that. I watch a bit of it, I go and have some breakfast, I come back, I go to continue watching it, it's gone. The video is taken down after somebody called them out in the comments. Now apparently it's something to do with a faker being involved in the video. I don't know who that guy was, and never heard of him. I don't know if he's a faker. I couldn't comment on it. But the video was taken down for a negative comment. My wife was blocked, and they say because she talks too much. 2 comments. For 1 thread. But I've looked a little deeper. You see, I remember a ghost video. A ghost theory video from a while ago that I watched. And I tried to think back. There was something with a box with these guys. And I remember it looked like Joe's weight shifted awkwardly, and then the lid slammed, and then they couldn't get it to stand back up. So I tried to find that video to see if I could Either say, you know what, it was real, or you know what, they are faking. I can't find that video. And they were accused of faking in that video. Then, I'm like, right. I remember somebody calling them out for a fake blood in a cot incident. And I'm like, right, I'm going to have a look for this. And I can't find that video. Why does your channel show 112 videos, yet if you add up your shorts, your lives, and your videos, they don't amount to 112? Why are you taking content down after being called out for it? That's controlling the narrative. And then I find a comment. Ask Ghost Theory why they faked the blood in the cot video. Then put up a poll asking the subscribers if they think they fake videos, and then take the video down. Go on, someone, because they deleted me when I called them out. This comment is 5 months old, so I've been doing my homework since the security incident, because I knew something was coming from you boys. You don't behave like the other channels I shout out. You put a poll up and asked if anyone thinks they fake, and people that said yes were blocked from your channel. Wow. Yet Ghost Theory have claimed I've betrayed them by being quiet. Now, to the best of my knowledge, there's no possible way they could know I was building a case to see whether they were real or fake, because I've got issues and I've got concerns, and I can't be asked to sit through hours and hours of videos that I've already watched, because I watch a lot of Ghost Theory. Even though I haven't commented as much, it doesn't stop me viewing them. I find them entertaining. Somebody commented about working with fakers, they take the live stream down. A few people have been in my comments. Why Ghost Theory getting all this stuff? Something stinks and etc. There's been quite a few. I start to see things popping up about their attitude, and I'm like, I've seen this shit firsthand. And then I'm still in my brain trying to be like, but they're good guys. They've been really good to me. They helped get me to 1,000 subscribers. They went out of their way to help me. But why? Why would they help a little insignificant channel like mine? Turns out, because I had an issue with Andrew from Proving Demons. I've still got an issue with Andrew from Proving Demons. I don't like his content. I don't like the shit he does. I don't like what he did to the corpses. I don't like the fact that he thinks he can summon demons with chalk and stuff. I don't like that in his live streams he keeps ranting and raving about me. You see, now I'm not saying that's exactly why they came to me, but when I went after Andrew a couple of months ago, that's when Ghost Theory decided to pal up with me. And it didn't make much sense looking back. Now, anything said between me and the member of Ghost Theory, if they want to out that, I don't care. Because all I'm doing is ridiculing Andrew. I don't care. Fake channels, I despise fake channels, fakery, bullshit, and controlling the narrative. I cannot say Ghost Theory are fake. I cannot say they fake their footage. And I never ever say things like, in my opinion, this channel are probably pulling the wool over people's eyes or setting things up. But on account of the Ghost Theory controlling the narrative, and anyone who disagrees with them gets deleted, blocked, or shouted and screamed and bawled at, which is what they're doing in my comments right now, leads me to believe they've got something to hide. And in with thinking that they've got something to hide, that means they're controlling the narrative, and that is one of the telltale signs of people faking, as is removing content that you've been called out for, instead of saying, well, we'll get Mr. Grey to prove otherwise, we'll get Beardo to prove otherwise, the Shape, whoever. You made friends with a debunker. You could have had backup there, and I could have been like, because at this point, probably blinded by friendship, gone, I don't know, I can't see any fakery. If I can't see a wire, I'm not going to call a wire. The videos were taken down to stop people like me and the other debunkers getting hold of them and outing them, in my opinion. That is as bad as faking. There is too much happening too quickly in their videos. For example, Ghost Theory have only been going for a year and 112 videos, and have more, ooh, that was weird, but it's not paranormal activity. They have had more than that than any other channel that I can think of. And that's what set alarm bells ringing. And then they come into my comments and they force my hand. Coming in the way they did, heavy-handed, and it's basically having a go. I don't think they watched the video, because when I was like, I didn't debunk you, I debunked it Paradolia, they were like, this isn't about you debunking us, this is about you betraying us. How? When did I betray you? By not having a go at my wife? Do you really think I'm going to pick you over my wife in an argument? I wouldn't pick anybody else over my wife. That's the way it should be. Now, I have been with my wife for 10 years, and I plan on being there for the rest of my life. For me to argue with her over you guys, why? I don't know anyone in their right mind that would. I've never met you guys. Yes, you've been good to me, but you don't cook me meals. You don't help me when I'm sick. You haven't raised children with me. I don't understand why you feel betrayed because I didn't argue with you or my wife. Now, my wife very, very rarely speaks out on anything, but when it comes to that video in particular, she spoke out because we work in that industry. She rang me one day in tears because somebody had broke into where she was working, and she worked in the same place I worked. She used to work for me. They'd asked them to leave, they'd tried to be polite, and they're getting cameras in their faces, aggression and all the rest, and it's like, I've got your name and address. And at the time, she's stone-faced and like, you're leaving and the police are on their way. But afterwards, she's got to deal with that like the two guards that you made a complete dick out of yourself to. Joe, this doesn't count, Joe. Joe walked out of there freely and a little bit of banter. I mean, Elliot tried a little bit later on in the video to have a bit of a laugh and a joke. As for doing this to the dog, ooh, that was a bad idea if you want to keep your fingers. So to everyone out there that kept shouting for the last 2 weeks, what about Ghost Theory? When you're on a live stream, hey, which channels do you support? And I didn't say Ghost Theory. And people started kicking off. That was not on purpose. That was clearly, I'm on the spot. The people that were interviewing me went, oh, we don't, Beardo, your turn. And I was like, there's 7, and I reeled off 6. I was like, that was nothing to do with any of this. Then arguments have started, and I started to notice things because of your bad attitudes. So guys, stop leaving comments. Stop leaving passive-aggressive comments in my channel. I'm not going to tell other people not to leave passive-aggressive or whatever in your channel, because I don't tell people what to do. What I do tell people not to do is not speak on my behalf in other people's channels. I don't want that. I hope you guys are successful, and I hope you guys find the right path. Because judging by a lot of the comments made about you, you're heading down the wrong path. People are starting to question your motives, starting to question if you're real. And this isn't like every paranormal investigating team gets called a liar or a faker at some point. This is people starting to question the basics. I have seen a number of paranormal investigation channels, real paranormal investigation channels, get questioned, and they have not behaved the way you did. A number of them have come to me and asked me to back them up, asked me to look at stuff, and I have, or I've emailed them back and said, I'm putting my neck out for you, I don't know who you are. I put my neck out for you guys. Now you can sit there and say, hey, you fed off our coattails, you came to me. I didn't feed off your coattails. In fact, I featured you properly once. One reaction video. I have featured on some other channels a little bit more because they've asked me to. Or because I want to work with them. I wanted to work with you guys. A couple of weeks ago, somebody asked me, not on the channel, in real life, when you going out with Ghost Theory. And I said, I don't think I can. Something's not adding up. And being a debunker, I don't think I should. And the advice I was given, and it's nobody that has anything to do with these channels, they watch my content, but they don't comment, and they don't come out with me and all that. They're just interested in what I do. And their advice to me was, go out with them and prove them fake. That's the best way, isn't it? And I was going to do it. I was going to wait until you guys invited me out, and then I was going to see if I could catch you out. Because I'm utterly convinced that you're full of it. You are terrific filmmakers. I'll give you that. Your camera work, your comedy value, all of it. It is all up there. It's enjoyable content. But at this point, I am convinced it's not real. And I'm not here to convince you, the viewer, that they are not real. Make your own mind up. If you think they are legitimate and I'm talking out of my ass because they've had a go with me, you're entitled to that. But I'm entitled to my opinion. And on my channel that I host by myself, I think these guys are full of it. And their attitudes, and their bad attitudes, when anyone says anything they don't like, highlights to me that something is amiss. My wife does not speak on my behalf in any channel she comments on. I do not put words into my wife's mouth. I also do not tell her what not to say. I have no right as her husband to say, don't say that. Do say that. She saw that video and was like, I'm commenting, and I went, oh, fuck. Yeah, go on then. I don't control my wife. I don't control my wife's feelings, thoughts, or speech. To do that would be wrong. A controlling relationship is an abusive relationship. We have a good relationship. While you're all sat there going, oh, he's only doing that because of... Look at the channels I have called out. Really Haunted. Lainey and Ben. I had a bit of a back and forth with Goose Pimples. Proving Demons. Exploring with Danny. Exploring with Danny came into the channel and apologised that people were threatening me on his behalf. Told me he was alright with my content and to keep it up. Exploring with Danny. The guy I went at harder than anyone showed more respect than Ghost Theory did. Lainey and Ben have been in my channel before I told them to stop coming in here, they weren't welcome. And I didn't trust what they were saying, but they were like, you're kind of a good guy, we understand why you do what you do. Lainey and Ben. Yeah? Really Haunted completely ignores my existence. He only slipped up this week with a comment to a viewer. He's an asshole. He's an idiot. He does this, but whatever. He ignores my existence. Proving Demons has said a lot about me on his live streams and then deleted the live streams. He deletes all of his live streams because they're against terms of service. I do watch. Yet none of these people have come into my channel the way you guys have. And your defense for that is you feel betrayed. Now you should feel betrayed because I'm publicly saying I think you're full of shit and you're controlling the narrative and you've got attitude problems. What you should do when when somebody comes in and says, I don't like the way you dealt with that, you know, I'll duly noted, but, you know, we're not getting into an argument. For the most part, that's what I do. Some people keep on and on until I eventually say, look, if you don't like it, go elsewhere. I've told people, go forth and multiply. I have not behaved the way you have. I have never gone into a channel's comments, no matter what I think of them, and done what you guys have done. Now, out of respect for what Ghost Theory did for me in the first place, I will not use their footage again. I will not use that hour and whatever video that I've got that I was already working on because I don't trust them. I won't use it. But if you keep picking and if you keep coming into the comment section, having a go at my community and having a go at me, then I will treat you the same as I treat every channel I look at. I have been more than fair to this point. I have kept my mouth shut, despite wanting to tell you, don't talk to my wife that way. But she's a big girl, she can take care of herself. Well, actually, she's a tiny woman, but you know what I mean. She made her comments, she made her bed, she was happy to lay in her bed. You guys had your argument, and I said nothing. And when I wanted to approach you, I realised you'd blocked me. So you had no intention of speaking to me first. You just wanted to sound off. I'm fully aware a video like this is going to cost me hundreds of subscribers. It is what it is. Because I pride myself on honesty. I have always been an honest guy. The only channel out of all of the real channels and all of the fake channels that have come in here and behaved this poorly is Ghost Theory. And I think that says everything I need to know about them. Gentlemen, be happy in life. Do your best with the channel. I won't be watching unless somebody says they messed up there, they faked. I'm not coming after you. I'm not going to be watching every video you do because I've got better things to do with my time. Because you're not as much harm as a lot of the grifters and fakers out there. Nowhere near. But you are heading down a dark path of the real paranormal. Maybe just change it to for entertainment purposes only. Recreations, short films, whatever. The stuff I tell everyone else I think is faking to do. The only difference with you and others is I think that you're at least setting things up. But that's just my opinion and my thoughts. And I think it's only a matter of time until something falls on my lap. And I can outright say, you guys are faking. But it's got to fall on my lap and I'll go and looking for it. So while you're dropping comments like I've just seen, enjoy the live tonight, there's something really good in there. I won't be there. Neither will my wife. Because while I enjoyed your content for a long time, my wife didn't. She thought you were too jovial with it all and all the rest of it. Looking back, the thing with your phone in your pocket, how did you not know the alarm on your phone? How did you not know your own alarm sound? I had the blinkers on with you, Pay, because I thought you were cool guys. People may look at me now because of your actions and be like, drama. I didn't start this drama. I tried to keep out of it. I tried to keep out of this for weeks. 2 or 3 weeks this has been going on. You never once approached me. You just come into the comments like a wrecking ball. That ain't on. I never did it to you. What my wife does and says, I have no control over. I never will try to control. But you two should have come to me. And maybe we could have met in the middle somewhere. Maybe we may have still had the same effect and still come to this point where I'm saying I think you're full of shit. And at some point I think I'll catch you out. And you could still be in my comment section going, do you know what, you're crap, you're this, you're that, whatever you're going to say about me. Maybe it was always heading this way. But I didn't come to you. I'm not hanging off your coattails. I'm not hanging off anyone's coattails. Some people trust me as a debunker and as a paranormal investigator and are happy to work with me. Some others have used me as a blunt weapon in personal wars against other channels. So when channels ask me to look at other channels, I'm going to be really fucking careful. So Ghost Theory, whatever you were trying to do with those abrasive comments, it's worked. I've lost subscribers already. Before I even reacted to you, I lost a noticeable amount of subscribers. I hope you're proud of yourselves. I didn't fit your narrative, so you did some damage. It's a shame. It's a massive shame it had to come to this because you wouldn't speak to me. To any of you that are disappointed that I've done this, I'm sorry, but I'm real. I'm as real as they come. I will always be as real as they come. If this had happened between me and the Ouija brothers, this same video would be going out. The difference is I know that video's never coming because different people. Different folks for different strokes. Anyway, I have been Beardo. This hasn't been an easy video for me to do at all. You'll have noticed I haven't done my usual making up nicknames for people, calling them idiots, calling them this, calling that, calling the other, trying to inject comedy into it, having a laugh at their expense. I haven't done any of that. This isn't Beardo Get Scared or Beardo having a pop. This is Dale giving his side of the story. Because I didn't deserve to get treated like this by you. But do allow me to fire back. The next time we have any interactions, it will be Beardo Get Scared. And it will be... I caught them.